Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, Dami.
Hello, Saliya. How are you?
What's
Nice.
been going on?
It goes on, it goes on. Nice talk.
Thank you. You like it?
Yes, I like it. I like it. I'll be on the lookout for it on all online platforms. I'm sure yeah, a link in the description below. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'm going for the Black
Right.
Panther.
Only Zeal.
Only Zeal with a three, right?
Yeah, only Zeal store. They have like nice hoodies and okay, like this. And sweater. You can just
Unisex stuff. Cool, cool, cool.
yeah.
You know when I would wear a top like that
When?
on Labor Day. Bum bum bum. So which is actually the movie we're talking about today, 2013, romance slash drama, which is about a single mother with a child who come cross paths with an escaped convict, and they essentially spend the Labor Day weekend together while this guy's on the run. So we have a very nice cast by the way of Kate Winslet, Josh Brolin, Toby Maguire, who's the voice of the little boy Henry, who's played by Gattlin Griffiths. And this movie is actually based on a book by Joyce Maynard. So all in all, this the plot line was interesting because crossing paths with someone that you randomly meet on the street, and then they essentially force themselves onto you and your family, and then trying to give way to, are you afraid of this person? Do you not be afraid? But with all these acts of service this convict did, Josh Brolin's character, Frank, uh, there was somewhat of a build up of attraction, right, over the course of the engagement. So for you, what did you think about the story?
I honestly, it really made me into thinking that if I was Kate Winslet, I forgot her name in the movie. What was her
Uh,
name?
Adele. So Adele, Frank,
Adele.
Henry.
Okay, so if I was in her shoes, what would I have done? Um, it was a kind of, I mean, at the beginning, it was a kind of scary. Like you ran into someone at the supermarket, and then you find out that he's fresh out of jail, so he's looking for a place to hide. And so it was a kind of scary because at any moment you can be raped or killed or and then so yeah, and then and then she figures out he starts to fix everything at her place, and then he's so good looking, so I really
Oh,
like
so you
this.
like Josh Brolin,
Oh
the
yeah,
Thanos of our generation.
like, so here's the thing, at the beginning I wasn't so into him, but then I, he showed like his charismatic and masculinity, and like, when you say you have to get to know someone's personality to get attracted to, not love at the first sight. That really happened to me. At the beginning, I was like, okay, whatever. Oh my God, like he's a criminal. What are they gonna do? And then when he started to just be very masculine, try to fix everything, and
Changing light bulbs,
feed
fixing
her,
cars, teaching the son how to play baseball, and then
yeah,
the whole dancing,
cooking.
right?
And then I was like, oh my God, he's so cute and charismatic. And then that was like the situation when I was like, then you don't really know, like, if she was also a little bit hesitant because she didn't know if he's flirting with her or
Mhm.
not. So she was I really liked her performance, the Kate Winslet performance, because I had a feeling that she really showed us that feeling of fear, and also like she was attracted to him.
Yeah, so
So
she had her own traumas too, right, from her previous relationship, because she tried to she tried to have a family of her own, and then the man that she was with wasn't able to give her that same warm or comfort, right? And this man, this stranger, essentially gave her more comfort and more reassurance than her ex-husband did. But yeah, it
Yeah.
really was it really was like a buildup of actions and things that made this movie seem more romance than tense, right? So thank you, Saliya, for making me watch this movie.
Yeah, that was a nice movie. Yeah, I know you don't like my movies, but
Well, I bet you're next you're gonna say, let's watch The Notebook. So
I
but it's
watched
all
a
good. So all in all, like I thought the story, to me, the plot of the story was a lot of things happened. Like it wasn't until the end that I said, oh, I hope in this letter from Frank to Henry, it's like, oh, I hope we can relive the same feeling I had over that 3 days. I was like, all of that was in 3 days. I was like, this man, I thought this guy spent a whole summer with them, just the amount of stuff that got done. I was like, oh my Lord. I was bewildered. But all in all, like the plot was interesting because we also had Henry, who was uh the older Henry was voiced by Tobey Maguire. He was narrating the events as he perceived it. I thought like there was some points where, oh my gosh, this girl is a figment of his imagination, or this man is a figment of his imagination. I was just waiting for a weird plot twist or something like that, because there's so much tense moments where it's like, for example, um, the flashbacks of Frank's, like how he eventually got convicted. I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. I don't understand. I was like, who is this man? What is going on? This is so all over the place a little bit. But eventually it came into light that, this is no one's a figment of the imagination. Even that weird psycho girl that he met in the library, about oh, when a strange man comes into her mother's life, she kept getting sent out the house so that the parents could have adult time, right? And I was like, man, this girl might be a figment of his imagination, because exactly what is happening right now, she's explaining it to him. I was like, something's afoot here. But in the end, the movie did feel like a lot of highs and a lot of lows, some tense moments. The Frank, Josh Brolin's character, he really did show kindness throughout the movie, even though he was a little bit acting under self-preservation at the start, right? But he was a good character in the end, right? And then
yeah.
I think also the ex-husband, who was played by Clark Craig. So some people might know him as Agent, was it Agent Coulson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or in the Avengers. I never actually saw him as, oh, how could this guy be a bad guy or a guy to walk out of a family's life? And I was like, oh, okay, I see it now. He's just a regular guy in that movie, which, sad to say, it didn't work out for his first family, but he's trying with his second family, seems like. But yeah, all in all, any breakout scenes or breakout moments?
I really like the scene that they sit next to each other and then he starts to touch her back like this. I don't know.
Very sensual.
It was like very, and then she was like, okay.
Or even like when they baked a cake together and he like ghosted her,
No. When they're sitting, I guess they're sitting on a bench or no, the stairs. And then he just put like his hands around like
very sensual,
her waist. So it was like, ooh, butterfly.
Yeah. For me, the interesting scene for me was, I guess ultimately when they were making this cake, the first time, or the baking this pie, sorry, not cake, peach pie. I was like, they lingered a lot on the process, and you can tell like
I
there's
didn't
some
like that.
parts that really channeled with Henry, that Frank taught him. So it was like, you know, how to bake a pie, and then he eventually became a baker. Or even like the story that Frank told Henry about how he escaped. He said he disarmed the policeman by telling him the truth, and nothing is more of a distraction than the truth. So even when the mom went to go withdraw money, he told the truth. He's like, yeah, we're just taking our money to cash, just and hitting the road and running, just like Bonnie and Clyde. And then, which is the truth, but but the bank tellers just laughed it off and said, whatever, here you go. So ultimately, like, it was those small moments that a very impressionable child like Henry, he took from Frank. And it didn't seem as if his father had as much impact on him as that, as Frank did.
But there was like two scenes that I didn't like.
Mm.
The one that they are basically baking, I feel like that they were just, it reminded me of the movie Ghost.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's too cliche. So I didn't like that part.
Mm.
And on the other hand, I think when Henry becomes a baker, I mean, I was like, it wasn't like, there was no like, I don't know. For
You didn't like
me, it
right?
wasn't making any sense by making a peach once in his lifetime, and then he becomes a baker. You know, so for me, I was like,
Yeah,
that
well,
part of the story, I didn't like it.
to be quite honest, I thought he was going to become like a dancer, right? Because he was talking about there was so much dancing going on in his house, and he was looking for how to join like theater class or dancing classing.
I thought he's gonna become like a, okay, I'm not gonna even say that.
Okay. So ultimately, there was definitely different ways that the story could have carried out, but however, it turned out love was in the air, and love was cultivated by tense moments. So out of 10, how would you rate the movie?
5.5.
5.5. Okay. That's a very fair assessment. For me, I would also give it I would just say a 5. Again, because it's not my kind of movie. I'm more like high octane, very slow moving. But
My movies are
it's not a terrible movie, but it's not something I would go out of my way to watch again.
The only movie that we agreed on, both of us, was John Q.
And we'll keep going until we find something new.
That's
okay.
it.
So then so IMDb gave it a 6.9 out of 10, and then Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 34%. So currently as it stands now, so not a lot of love from the general public, but however, if you're not going to watch it for the movie, at least watch it for the cast, because other than once mentioned, we had James Van Der Beek, who was in Dawson's Creek, right? And then we had Clark Gregg, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and we had Dwayne Minetti, who is well known from was it 13 Reasons Why. So yeah, so anyways, let us know what you think, and find what you guys are gonna do this Labor Day, and if there's any other movies you want us to watch, let us know. Right, subscribe, share, and of course, subscribe,
share, follow our social media channel, our Instagram, down below.
It's all there. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.